Hey everyone, it's Crypto Chubber and it's April 10 of 2024. So let's get into the markets. Let's look at the DXY today just because of the CPI. It was a little bit hot. It just sucks that we need to pay attention to CPI again, but it is what it is because it does lead into systemic risk. But overall, it wasn't that big of a difference, but it's going to spook some people. Um, so yeah, let's see on the DXY. You could kind of see here on the 2-day chart, it's looking, it might rip up a bit, right? So you might see it revisit to 106, right? So what does this mean? Like assets such as Bitcoin, stock market, obviously if the dollar is strong, it's inversely correlated, right? So you might see a dip in Bitcoin overall in crypto market because you're gonna have some that are performing, right? So if you look at this, Jason, that's a meme coin. Most of these are just kind of like meme coins or kind of established old ones such as Avalanche, Ondo. Same thing with Joe. They're kind of remaining strong, but especially with the halving coming up, it's kind of like it's more of a psychological thing, right? If you're long only, this year, good times to buy dips. You don't know when it's going to be the right dip, but if you have deployed enough capital, which I already had the last couple of years, this is just noise to me. I just don't care about short term moves. I'm not a trader, so if you're a trader like John and them, like definitely do whatever you want short term. But in crypto, it doesn't really make sense to be a trader, um, unless you know what you're doing and using like really good leverage. But I'm mostly a swing trader, looking at 2 to 3 day charts instead of 5 hours and all that stuff. I do look at that when I do kind of want to exit already, and then I like start looking at the 4 hour, 45 minutes to get that perfect like exit. But honestly, don't really care. I just want to get the fat middle. So now we went to DXY. Let's look at Bitcoin. Even though like our 1 day thing flashed, right? We just had this kind of dump just because of the CPI, right? It was really good on Monday, right? And then everyone got spooked yesterday because of CPI, and then today CPI went a little bit too hot, so obviously markets corrected a bit and went down to, I forgot. Let's see, it went down to 67, right? Um, Yesterday. Oh no, is that today? Yeah, today around down 67 right before the CPI print, but we're kind of stabilizing up. The good thing about this in Bitcoin is that we're in this range, in the upper range, right? Breaking all time high, which is 69K, all the way up to like 73K. We just have to hold this upper range, right? We could go all the way down to 60, and honestly, I don't care. Especially with the halving coming up, the fundamentals are just gonna be pumpamentals. So, any short term kind of risk and all this kind of stuff doesn't, it's just noise, right? So if you believe in Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these other alts, then it's a good time to kind of accumulate, right? I personally am not buying anything. I'm just letting this kind of ride. I already kind of told you my targets: 80K to 90K short term. Might dip down to the 50s before that last Elliott weight move up into, let's say 120 to 150, right? Everyone calling for 200 plus. It could happen, but that's why you have your kind of runners run. But I'm looking to exit like 50% at least when it hits like 100 ish, and then like the rest, like just by intervals. Um, let's look at Ethereum. Same thing, market's kind of bleh right now, so nothing too much to look at. 2 day signal just flashed for Ethereum. We could have this go to the moon, but let's see compared to Bitcoin. Yeah, this thing had a flash, but then we got the red thing because of the CPI. Hopefully, Ethereum could kind of save it. We'll see what that MACD confirmation should be, a couple days to a week. Let's say, hold on, Chainlink. One of my favorites, Chainlink. Chainlink's just been lagging. I just don't get it. It was like really strong, and then boom, you saw this smash right here in February 4th from like 42 to almost a 50% drawdown, which kind of sucks. It was kind of remains momentum, but to be honest, not a bad place to accumulate because you looked at the long term, right? 2 month hasn't really crossed the MACD yet on the 2 month, and kind of did on the month, but now it's kind of, it needs to hold up because if it doesn't, then we're kind of effed. But yeah, I think this is just a short term correction for Chainlink. It did go up from $5 to $23. I personally accumulated from $5 to $7 the last 2 years, so I'm up 3 or 4x. So I'm chilling, right? One interesting right now that I'm kind of looking at is Joe. It's my third position right now, looking good. And its cousin Mo is treating me really well. It's already up 4x within 2 months. Can't really do um, Mo here. But let's look at the 5 day. Yeah, this one looks good. Especially look at the 2 day. Might hit to $2 to $3. So this is probably like a 4 to 5x play if you're interested. Let's see. Let's look at FBTC. Oh, there you go. Finally spiked up. You see this kind of dip right here in 48 levels. I did purchase some Ethereum last week around 32, 33 around there. Just because it was just getting way oversold relative to Bitcoin. So, yeah. In terms of like next steps, just again look at the range between Bitcoin from like 70ish to low 60s. Hopefully we maintain the 60K level. Halving is in April 20th, so we have about 10 days, 9 days left, depending on the block size. So at this point in time, it's basically just sitting on your hands. And if you want to deploy capital, right? But this crypto market's not something to trade with. You could trade it, but you're obviously going to get wrecked, as you see by the Bitcoin liquidations. But overall, yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. And I'll do another video on Friday to see how everything kind of settled after the CPI thing. But yeah, peace.